All right, first let's talk about how a decimal turns into a fraction. So, how would we turn 0.3 into a fraction? We say it correctly. This is 3/10. So, 3/10. Next, this is 45 hundredths. Okay, 45 hundredths. This one is 12 thousandths because we're ending on the thousandths. So 12 thousandths. So the amount of numbers that are behind the decimal point is how many zeros it's going to have. So see how there's 2 numbers behind the decimal point? That's 2 zeros. There are 3 numbers behind the decimal point. So it's going to be 3 zeros. All right. Now let's talk about repeated decimals. So when this occurs, it's going to be 2/9. A 9 causes the 2 to repeat over and over again. What about 35? This would be 35/99. Then this one, 612, repeated over and over again. This would be 612/999. All right. Now, the fraction into the decimal, there's only one example I have because there's only one thing to do. The top is going to be divided by the bottom. So it's going to be 3 divided by 8. How many 8s go into 3? 0. All right? So now I'm going to add a decimal point here, and I'm going to add a 0. How many 8s go into 30? Well, that's going to be 3. That's going to be 24. I'm going to subtract here and give me 6. Then I'm going to add a 0. How many 8s go into 60? That's going to be 7. 7 times 8 is 56. That's going to leave me with a 4. I'm going to have to add another 0, drop that down. Then we're left with how many 8s go into 40? That is 5. That's going to be 40, and we're done. How did I know we ended? Because there's a 0 here. So it's going to be 0.375. I turned this fraction into a decimal point. Now, this is going to be a quick explanation of what square roots are. This is a radical. What is happening here is a square root. That is when there is no number here in this location here, no index. Automatically means square root. What you're looking for is what number times itself makes this number inside of the square root. Okay? The answer is 6 times 6 makes 36, which causes the square root of 36 to equal 6. Okay? So whatever number it is causes it to change into that. Whatever number times itself creates number in the box is what its square root equals. Now let's talk about rational and irrational. Now the correct description of rational is any number that can be made into a fraction. But also, another way of looking at it is numbers that you can explain or describe to another person. Just using over the phone, this is what it looks like. And they know exactly what number you're talking about. For example, a 3, 3.5, -5, 2/3. So whole numbers are rational. Decimal points are rational. Negative or negative decimal points are also rational. Fractions, rational. Repeated decimals, rational. Didn't I just show you how to make this into a fraction? So this can become a fraction. Square root of 49. That one I know the answer to. I know what number times itself makes 49. The answer is 7, which makes this rational. What numbers are irrational? Irrational, or anything that has pi with it, or a square root that you do not know the answer to. Okay? Like the square root of 11. That is irrational. The square root of 17, that is irrational. Okay? There's no decimal point times itself that will create a whole number. Okay, so you're constantly getting closer to this, but you never actually reach it. And that's it.